Daniel here.
Chihiro here. We study together every week. In this lesson, you will learn how to talk about habits and general truths.
This conversation takes place on the campus of Innovative University, IU.
The conversation is between Oksana, an exchange student from Ukraine, and Naomi, an exchange student from Japan.
The speakers are friends, therefore the speakers will be speaking casually.
Let's listen to the conversation.
Oh, hi, Naomi. What's up?
Not much. How's it going, Oksana?
Pretty good. Do you have class now?
Yep. I have calculus. It's hard subject.
Calculus. Oh, are Mike and Yuki in your class?
Yes, we study together every week.
Speaking of studying, do you have plans tonight?
Actually, yes. I have a date tonight. We are going to see a new movie, Attraction.
Attraction?
Yeah, my date is an Italian student. His name is Marco.
Marco?
Oh, here he comes now.
Wow, he is handsome.
Tell me about it.
And let's hear it one more time slowly.
Oh, hi, Naomi. What's up?
Not much. How's it going, Oksana?
Pretty good. Do you have class now?
Yep. I have calculus. It's a hard subject.
Calculus? Oh, are Mike and Yuki in your class?
Yes. We study together every week.
Speaking of studying, do you have plans tonight?
Actually, yes. I have a date tonight. We are going to see a new movie, Attraction.
Attraction?
Yeah. My date is an Italian student. His name is Marco.
Marco?
Oh, here he comes now.
Wow, he is handsome.
Tell me about it.
So, Chihiro, what do you think of Marco?
Sounds like a cute guy.
Cute? But maybe not so reliable.
Yeah, perhaps not.
Okay, in the dialogue, Naomi says that she and Marco are going to the movies.
Right. Going to the movies is a common pastime for many North Americans, especially among college students. It's an easy, affordable, and accessible form of entertainment that can be enjoyed with friends and dates.
Right. And movie theaters have food and drinks so the viewers can enjoy their show while they snack.
Yep, popcorn is one of the most common food that is sold and is usually accompanied with a soda.
I love fresh popcorn. How about you?
With extra butter is my favorite. Also, friends can get together and rent a movie to watch in somebody's living room instead of going to the theaters. These days, with great home entertainment systems, it can be just as enjoyable as going to the theaters. And of course, there's always microwave popcorn.
Yes, I agree. I usually don't have time to go to the theater. Do you?
Not as much as before, unfortunately, but I do try to squeeze one in now and again. Let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson.
What's up?
Informal for how are you?
What's up? What's up?
The next one is
How's it going?
a question to ask about someone's health or situation.
How's it going? How's it going?
Now we have
Pretty good.
phrase to show that you are fairly healthy and your situation is good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
The next word is
Calculus.
advanced type of mathematics.
Calculus. Calculus.
And now we have
Hard.
difficult, not easy.
Hard. Hard.
The next word is
Actually.
as a true fact, really.
Actually. Actually.
Next,
Date.
romantic activity with the person. Person to do romantic activities with.
Date. Date.
And now we have
Handsome.
good to look at.
Handsome. Handsome.
The next word is
Subject.
field of study taught at school.
Subject. Subject.
And the last word is
Italian.
person born and raised in Italy.
Italian. Italian.
Let's have a closer look at the usage for some of the words and phrases from this lesson.
The first phrase we'll look at is speaking of. This is used when a person is reminded of something else to talk about from the current topic being talked about.
People use it at the beginning of a sentence to show that they want to change the course of the conversation because they've thought of something else to say.
In the dialogue, Oksana uses the phrase because their talk about studying made her think about what Naomi is going to do that evening.
Therefore, she asks her, using the phrase speaking of, to show that their talk about studying made her wonder what her friend will be doing later that evening.
Okay, what is the next phrase?
The next phrase we'll be looking at is, he is handsome. This is a grammatically standard present tense phrase. However, when said with the stress on the verb, the person is emphasizing their strong agreement.
Right. In this case, Oksana stresses is because she wants to express her agreement on Naomi's opinion of how handsome Marco is.
Sounds great.
So Chihiro, how about another example?
Okay, if I say something like, this is pretty good ice cream,
This is good.
then I would know that you agree with me.
Exactly.
Sounds great.
Now, let's take a look at the grammar point for this lesson. The focus of this lesson is the simple present.
For example, in the dialogue, we heard the sentence, my date is an Italian student.
In Beginner Series Season 1, Lessons 6 through 8, we learned about 3 of the 4 aspects of verbs: simple, progressive, and passive. We also saw some examples of how these aspects are combined with the 3 verb tenses: present, past, and future. In the next several lessons, we will look at these combinations in more detail and learn the core meanings of the verb tenses as we did the aspects.
In this lesson, we focus on the combination of the simple aspect and the present tense. This combination is usually called the simple present tense.
In Lesson 6, we explained that the simple aspect's core meaning is unchanging. That is, the event we are talking about is thought of as a complete whole and not an event that we expect to change.
Right, and in that lesson, we had our first look at the simple present. At that time, we explained that we use the present tense to talk about now.
In this lesson, we can be a little more specific. So, the present tense is used to talk about what is immediate or now from the speaker's point of view. And to that, we also add the idea that the speaker is communicating facts.
So, in other words, the present tense is used to talk about immediate facts.
Right, and the simple aspect is used to talk about what is unchanging. When we bring them together, we can see that the simple present is used to talk about facts that are thought of as complete.
Shall we look at some examples?
Good idea. But first, let's take a look at its formation. With almost any subject, the simple present is made using the dictionary form of the word. Chihiro, what's the main exception?
The exception is when the subject is a third person singular.
And what is the third person singular?
The third person singular is one person or object other than you or I. Examples are he, she, it, the dog, etc., etc.
With most verbs, we simply add s to the end of the dictionary form of the word. For example, let's use the verb stop. If the subject is not in the third person singular, stop does not change its form.
For example, I stop, you stop, we stop.
What about the third person singular?
Those will be he stops, she stops, it stops, or even the dog stops.
Now, there are some verbs that are a little more difficult. For example, verbs that end in s, sh, x, or ch. The spelling rule is a little different. We do not simply add s, we add es.
But the good news is the pronunciation is simply adding an S sound. So a verb such as catch is spelled C-A-T-C-H-E-S. In a similar way, verbs that end in a Y with a consonant before it, such as by, dy, fy, change by dropping the Y and adding ies.
But again, good news. The pronunciation rule is the same. Just add the S sound. The other exceptions are go, which is spelled G-O-E-S, do, which is spelled D-O-E-S, but do changes the pronunciation to does. And there's also have, which changes to has.
One more exception is the verb to be, which changes for more than just the third person singular. For examples of that, please see the lesson notes for Beginner Season 1, Lesson 4.
Now, let's take a look at how the simple present tense was used in this lesson. What is our first example?
In the dialogue, Oksana asked Naomi if Mike and Yuki are in her class, and she responded by saying, "Yes, we study together every week."
We is the first person plural, so we don't change the form of the verb study. And she is talking about a habit. So we use the simple present to talk about habits, which are facts that are immediately true and unchanging. What is our next example?
Another example from the dialogue is when Oksana asks Naomi if she has any plans. Naomi answers, "I have a date tonight."
Okay, so I is the first person singular, so we don't change the form of the verb have. And she is talking about a future scheduled event. Even though the event is in the future, the plan exists now and is not expected to change. So we can use a simple present tense to talk about the future scheduled events that we don't expect to change. And what is our next example?
Another example from the dialogue is when Naomi describes her date. She says, "Yeah, my date is an Italian student."
So the subject, my date, is the third person singular. And for the verb be, the third person singular is, as we explained in Lesson 4. She is talking about a state, the state that her date is Italian and a student. These facts are not expected to change, so she uses a simple present tense to talk about states. Any more examples?
Yes, we have one more example from the dialogue. Naomi sees Marco coming and she says, "Oh, here he comes now."
Okay, so in this sentence, he is the third person singular, so we add an S to come, and we say, he comes. Naomi is describing an action as it happens before her and Oksana. So when we describe actions in this way, we can use the simple present tense instead of the present progressive. If we use the present progressive and say, he is coming now, we understand that the action is incomplete and happening now, but the immediacy, the excitement of the action is reduced. This is why sports announcers often use a simple present tense to describe actions as they happen.
There are a few more uses for the simple present tense. In Lesson 6, for example, we showed how the simple present tense is used to talk about general, timeless truths like science and math. In the future, we will also introduce some other uses, but the examples in this lesson should give you a good foundation going forward.
Good. Now, before we wrap up, we have a study tip.
That's right. The third person singular conjugation of verbs is easy to understand, but is often difficult for learners of English to master in real time. Be patient with yourself and try to notice when you make a mistake. If you pay attention to your own words and notice them, you should be able to cut down on your future mistakes.
That's right. Okay, hang in there, everyone.
That just about does it for today. Okay, we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, hi, Naomi. What's up?
Not much. How's it going, Oksana?
Pretty good. Do you have class now?
Yep. I have calculus. It's hard subject.
calculus. Oh, are Mike and Yuki in your class?
Yes, we study together every week.
Speaking of studying, do you have plans tonight?
Actually, yes, I have a date tonight. We are going to see a new movie, Attraction.
Attraction?
Yeah, my date is an Italian student. His name is Marco.
Marco?
Oh, here he comes now.
Wow, he is handsome.
Tell me about it.